Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, it is the beginning of when Max and I break off from his family and we go on a personal trip and explore more of Europe. Our first stop was Dubrovnik, Croatia. We didn't really have a plan. We didn't really know what we were going to do, so we kind of just explored and found things to do, and we did them. So I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you so much for watching.
Today we woke up at 10:30 a.m. and headed to the train station in Valencia. Once we got on the train, it was only a 2-hour ride and it was really nice. We had plenty of space and we were even able to connect to the Wi-Fi and watch YouTube.
We got to our train, we couldn't go so early, but then we got it and we had to go all the way down. There was a second train behind the first train, so then the little train sections, like the BART has sections, the train has sections. They have specific numbers, so then you have to find the specific number of your your train cart, and then you have to find your specific seat. So once we found which car was ours, it was easy. And then we rode the train.
The hard thing was when we got to Madrid, we had to figure out how to get to the airport from Madrid.
So first of all, I don't know any Spanish, so Max has to ask everything. When you ask people who work here, they don't want to help you. They just give you go straight, go left, and then turn right, and then you'll see it. But then Max is like, and then I don't know anything, so he's left to himself to do it. So we got the ticket. Well, then we had to go to another kiosk because it was the wrong one. We went to the correct one after asking another person. We probably asked 6 people by now. Then we got to the right kiosk. The lady who actually works there helped us, thank goodness. And then we got our ticket, and now we're on this train.
So we got on the train, we had to change trains once we got to a certain stop, and then we got up and then get on this train to the airport. Now we're headed to the Madrid airport, and we're going to go to Dubrovnik.
Yep, so we'll touch base later.
Once we got to the airport, we sat for a while, we were able to eat, and then we just waited until it was time for us to get onto our plane. Oftentimes in Europe, at least in our experience, you scan your ticket, then you load onto a bus and they drive you to your plane, and then you get onto the plane. It's very interesting. By the time we got to Dubrovnik, Croatia, it was already sunset, and so by the time we got to our hotel, it was dark. But this is the hotel we stayed at, Hotel Petka. Here is the view from our hotel room.
This is the door. Obviously, all the light switches are different in Europe. They're like this in Spain, but I'm not sure if that's how they are everywhere. But it's just a huge light switch. Also down, what I think is off is actually on. I guess I don't need it on since the window's open, but anyway, minor detail, not really important. And then the hallway, you can see everything. Our room's small, but it gets the job done. I put Max's suitcase here because I just pulled out my outfits, but it's really nice that Max can have his suitcase here and easily access it. Also, anyone who's traveling or going anywhere, or even for a short or a long time, I would definitely suggest getting packing cubes. We had to move some stuff from my suitcase to Max's so that we could check my suitcase. Just being able to take one of my packing cubes and shove it into Max's was so nice. So anyway, definitely highly suggest getting packing cubes.
We used the fridge to cool our drinks.
Tomorrow and then the next day when we travel to our next place, just a couple of things that we use every day.
Something interesting, at least in our experience, I know not every huge bed is like this, but oftentimes they are made up of 2 separate twins, which is nice when you sleep because Max likes having his own space, but it does make it hard to snuggle, so that's a downside. Max and I decided not to have our room service, so I kept all our important documents here. Also, the plugs are weird. A quick tip for if you're going to be traveling to many different places, keep your dirty clothes out in the open so you don't forget to pack it. The light switch to the bathroom was on the outside, so that was weird. The sink was normal, the toilet was normal, the flusher was weird, didn't show that, sorry, but the shower was also interesting. And here is Dubrovnik, Croatia. Max and I really had no idea what we were going to do here, so for the first day we just explored. And for anyone who is a fan of Game of Thrones, I've never seen it, but apparently some scenes were filmed here. Max and I walked all the way to this restaurant and we had lunch. We learned that a lot of countries around Europe really love Italian food, so we ate a lot of pizza on our trip. I got this beef plate. I can't remember what it was, but it has jumbo tater tots, and the apple pie wasn't that good. This area was called Old Town Dubrovnik, and it was very scenic and touristy. Obviously, you can tell there's a lot of people here. But Max and I went down and explored this little area, and as you'll see, there are a ton of companies who offer kayaking, and so Max and I went and signed up for a kayaking trip for the next day.
I was feeling sick today. I don't know why. I think maybe because I didn't sleep good, but also because the breakfast we had here, like at our hotel, is not like, obviously, breakfast in hotels in America. There were no waffles, there was no cold cereal, there was no oatmeal. There was yogurt, and there was a lot of bread, and there was a lot of meats.
Yeah, but nobody to help us.
Yeah, but it was very, like, rich food. No?
I wish there would have been a server or somebody who would be like, hey, can I get you a drink? Is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah, do you have any questions?
You know?
Yeah. Look how pretty that castle is. Or is that a church?
Right.
Behind us.
That's a church.
Oh.
Probably most churches are castles.
Later in the day, we went to town and we saw the famous limestone paths that everyone was telling us to go and see. I really love Dubrovnik. You can get a sense of their history from the buildings. We did also go to a candy shop and see a bunch of different hard candies and gummies. I did get in trouble for filming, so unfortunately this is not the entire store. It was huge.
Yeah, fish. Wow. That water looks so inviting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're making me so nervous. Look at that foot. Oh my. Whoops. Don't do it. Oops. Refreshed. Look at all the little boats. They're so small. And then a big one.
Max and I just walked around and we were really killing time until our kayaking trip. We did eat lunch again at that same restaurant. We got Italian food again, so I didn't take pictures of it. But Dubrovnik was really beautiful and it was really fun to be there and just look at all the buildings. It was honestly so beautiful. We were able to go inside a church building in Dubrovnik, and it is just as beautiful as the ones in Valencia. In this clip, look at the ceilings. They're like X's. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. Another thing I love about going to these old cities and towns is the narrow walkways and streets. It just felt like I was in a movie, like I was in Beauty of the Beast or something like that, and you could really get a sense of these being built years and years and years ago. It's just awesome. Then we went on our kayaking trip. This first building people would stay in for a month in order to be quarantined and set into the city. This building is the most expensive home in all of Dubrovnik. We did stop at some caves and were able to take pictures. People did jump off of cliffs, but I was way too scared, so Max and I just snorkeled. To give you an idea of what our canoe trip was, we went clockwise around this island. The island is called Lokrum Island, and it took us about 3 hours to get all the way around and back to the main island of Dubrovnik. On the island, back in the day, people brought peacocks and bunnies, so now it's infested with bunnies and peacocks. We also went into this tiny cave big enough for our canoe, and apparently it lets water onto that island, and so there is a lake on the island that is actually saltwater, so that's pretty cool. They sell this trip as a beginner's trip. It was definitely not a beginner's trip, but it wasn't too bad. I would definitely do it again or suggest people to do it if they go to Dubrovnik. That is it. That is the end of our adventures in Dubrovnik, Croatia. Thank you so much for watching.